Hello and welcome to a new episode of I Can Do. Thank you so much for being here. You know who I am, hopefully. And if not, I'm Benjamin Lee. And I want to know who you are. I'd love to hear from you. If you would like to reach out to me via email, please do so. Please leave me a rating, a review for the podcast so that more people around the world can hear it. I've been having a lot of fun with the podcast, going on 5 years now. Passion project, fear project. Someone asked me one time why I started the podcast. I wanted to see if I could do it. I wanted to see if I could overcome this fear. And yes, I have, thank the Lord. And it's brought me a lot of joy. It's allowed me to talk to people all around the world. And for people like you, wherever you may be listening here in the United States and also around the world. So thank you so much. I know you love to learn, you want to grow, you want to improve, you have or are looking to have this I can do mindset. I know that we can do this, and we just keep taking it one day at a time. Every day we just keep moving forward. All right. Now, one of the things that can help us out is to read. Reading is fundamental. Now, in this podcast, I have throughout the years given a lot of book recommendations. I want to continue to do that. I love to read. I have now been reading books multiple times. The book that I've read the most multiple times has been the Bible. That's a book you got to continue to read as well. And so that's always going to be my number one recommendation for books. On my website, benjaminlee.blog, I have a new page where you can find different books that I recommend that I've read as well. Now, with books, except for the Bible, but books written by men, books are sometimes like eating fish. You eat the meat, you spit out the bones. All right. So I can't endorse everything in every book. I always have to give that disclaimer. There are occasions as well that you may not even finish the entire book. You may know what the book is all about in just a few pages, and that's okay. Sometimes I feel like we have to, or sometimes we can feel like we have to just read everything that we have. Well, if it's not a good book, maybe you cut your losses and you move forward a little bit. All right. So that's something for you to think about. Now, there's a resource that I want to share with you. Then I'm going to give you a book that I have read not too long ago. There's an app called Blinkist, Blinkest, or IST, I believe. Blinkist. That app will give you like a 15-minute summary of a book. So if you're, maybe on the fence of should I read this book, then that's a way that you can go and check out the book. You can also come to this website or this blog or podcast as well and get some recommendations from me. But that's an app that you can go and listen to books. And so maybe the book I'm going to recommend, that's something that you can do with it. Okay. One of my previous guests, she's a coach, Janine Grayson. I had asked her for some book recommendations. One of the three books that she had given me is called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Weist, or Weist, if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, Wiest. I don't have the book to hold up in my hand because I've been listening to books via Audible. So this book is really interesting. The Mountain Is You. Let me read the bottom part of the cover. Transforming self-sabotage into self-mastery. I really enjoyed this book. There are a lot of things to think about. It is often the case that the mountain really is us. By that, what the author, I believe, is talking about, what I'm trying to get across, is that we may feel like sometimes we have a lot of obstacles, a lot of walls to break through to maybe be the person that we are striving to be, to implement habits that we know that are going to better our lives, and to become better fathers or mothers or whatever the case may be. And we sometimes can realize, why do I struggle so much? It's not necessarily because of outside resistance. It's often because of our own personal resistance. Self-sabotage, I think you've seen this before. You've seen this in sports. You've seen this in celebrities where people do really, really well, and then they do something almost to stop success, maybe to stop the flow of happiness, to stop moving forward. I've seen that before. Growing up, we used to watch VH1 behind the scenes. I think that's what it was called. And they would do these documentaries about celebrities and musicians and artists and things like that. And there was typically an arch to all of these stories of this slow and steady progress, great fame, and then something to collapse. And you see this in sports. I can remember when the Atlanta Falcons went to the Super Bowl. I believe they played the 49ers. This was years ago. One of the defensive players went out that Saturday, the night before the game, did something illegal, messed himself up, was not able to play, I don't believe. And it just had a ripple effect on the team. They were counting on him. So why would a person do that the night before? Well, it's easy to look at celebrities and athletes, but this is all about the mountain is you looking in the mirror. Why do I do some of the things that I do to hinder growth, to delay growth? And then what do we actually do about that? That's what this book, in a nutshell, I think is all about, where we have to take a raw assessment of where we are. We have to get past this stage of, not just the planting stage where we start something or the sprouting stage, but really the growth stage where we're not always going back to the starting line, where we're not doing things like fixing a website when that's not going to move the business along, or going back to things that we have already done that we know there are bigger things that require our attention. So this book it's a good wake-up call. You may not agree with everything in it, but it's a great wake-up call. And I do agree that self-sabotage, another author named Gay Henderson talks about this in the book, The Big Leap, where fear, the past, worry, all these things, we create these what's called these upper limits where we almost have like a threshold where things are going so well. And then we say, well, no, 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 this is too good. I got to throttle back down. So I want to recommend to you The Mountain Is You, and love to hear from you. And maybe that is you. Maybe you are and have seen how you've sabotaged your goals. You lose 20 pounds and then you immediately go back to the very thing that you had left behind. Well, how do we get over that hump? That's what this book is all about. So check it out. Let me know what you think. I will talk to you later. I can do, you can do. Take care, and God bless.